Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
We welcome you once again to Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. I'm Corey Costello. Thanks so much for joining us once again on the show. We got a good program planned for you today. We're going to sort of cover a little bit of everything. It's going to be a little all over the place program, which is exactly the way I like it, and you should as well. Welcome once again into the show, and we're going to be speaking coming up with a CSUB alum and also a local. He's kind of become a local not fundraising, but charity fixture. And that's, of course, our very own Mike McCarthy, former CSUB pitcher, now in the Boston Red Sox organization, and always helping out in the community. And his latest charity he's worked with and talked about on this show before, Baseball Miracles, has a fundraiser coming up this week. So we'll talk with him about that, how you can help out, and just by simply having lunch on Thursday, you can help out Baseball Miracles. He'll talk a little bit about Baseball Miracles and how you can help with that latest fundraiser coming up. Also coming up on the program, we will be speaking with our director of volleyball, Giovana Melo. We're going to break a little news on the show, and so she might have something to do with it. That's just a hint. We'll be speaking with her coming up at the bottom of the hour, and final segment of the program today, we'll be speaking with Ian Nickell, CSUB redshirt junior, 133-pounder. He's coming off a placing at the Cliff Keen Invitational in Las Vegas. He had a rare weekend off last weekend, but Roadrunner Wrestling right back at it this weekend at the Reno Tournament of Champions. Always a tough tournament. Ian Nickell, we'll speak with him coming up in the final segment of the program as well. The Roadrunners, they're coming back home in January, but until then, they've got a couple tough tournaments on the road still to go. So we'll talk with him about Reno coming up this weekend as well. So a lot of stuff to get to on the show, a little bit of everywhere. Want to start out real quick and say thanks to everybody who came to our Roadrunner Scholarship Fund concert last Thursday night at the Fox Theater featuring Easton Corbin. Great turnout, great program, and Easton even wore the Roadrunner baseball jersey on stage for his final encore. So thanks to all the folks that showed up. Great fundraiser. We'll have more details on what was actually raised for the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund as things get finalized. But a great event, and we thank all those of you who bought tickets and came out and saw the show. So lots to get to on the program. Let's get to some highlights, though, because we're going to start with men's basketball. On the road, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in Portland, and, not a very good start in the Pac Northwest. All Portland State early, as there's a three from Deshaun Wiggins. Then Portland State right back at it. They go to the baseline. Braxton Tucker, the back down, the fadeaway jumper. And finally, Portland State, they're finally going to miss one of their first shots of the first half, but the offensive rebound and the putback by Tucker again. The Vikings are up 10-0. Runners settle down a little bit, finally get it going. Ali Ahmed getting on board with his only 2 in the half. Then it's Cortez Connors as the Runners will swing the ball around to the elbow. Connors hitting the 3, and the Runners will once again go to Connors, this time in the corner. They cut the lead to 9 points right there with that three-pointer with a minute to play in the half. Bakersfield goes to Jalen Arrington, connects on one of 27 threes shot in the game by CSUB. Second half, Runners trail by 4. Then to start the second half, Portland State strikes on an 8-2 run. T.J. Bamba with the 3. Then Colin Spickerman, who had 6 blocks, adding a jumper as well. Vikings by 8 again. Another possession, another fadeaway from Tucker at the baseline. And once again, Portland State by double digits. Runner trailed by as many as 15 in the half. Then they made their move. Javante Maynard the 3 in the corner. And then Ali Ahmed going to get rolling as well in the second half. 16 second half points, up and under with that one there. Another defensive stop, and then it's Deshaun Richmond making it interesting. The Runners go to Javante Maynard then with just over 7 minutes to play, and Maynard will make it a 7-point game. Down by 10 with 2 minutes to play. Ali Ahmed, 2 free throws. The Runners then right here, very important player, going to steal the inbound pass and then get the layup from Cortez Connors to make it a 6-point game with $1:39 to go. Portland State, then a costly turnover to give the Runners a chance with just over a minute to play. Then Javante Maynard is fouled, so he will go to the free throw line. These were important. The second makes it a 4-point game in the final seconds. Next inbound, though, they're going to whistle Maynard right there for the loose ball foul. Vikings then hit their 3-pointers. Runners one last quick push to 4, but one of their later shots in this one is going to fall short. as Portland State holds off CSUB 65-59. The Roadrunners now actually 1-6 on the season after the loss there. CSUB will go on the road as they will head to the World Vision Classic in Logan, Utah. The Runners will be at Utah State. That's going to be a 7 o'clock. That's actually going to be Pacific time, 8 o'clock Mountain, 7 Pacific on Thursday. Then the Roadrunners will take on South Dakota State Friday at 4:30 Pacific, and Idaho State Saturday at 4:30 Pacific in the World Vision Classic, trying to snap that was now a 4-game losing streak. So CSUB at Utah State, always a tough tournament to play, and of course anytime you play the Aggies on their home court as well. So Bakersfield, Utah State, South Dakota State, and Idaho State coming up this weekend. On to CSUB women's basketball, because they were taking a trip to the Midwest, and after losing in Omaha, they look for a win at number 12 in Nebraska. All runners early. Shakita Smith with the jumper there, and then Q once again from about 17 feet, the pull-up jumper. Runners without leading scorer Tana Outland, but they figured a way for the offense to go. Smith had 13 from the Runners. More for Bakersfield. Erica Williams hits the 3 to give them a 6-point lead. Then Alyssa Shannon, the drive, and then the dish to Haley Ford for knocking it down from the foul line extended. CSUB by 6 again. Going inside shore, Brooke Hinkins over the top to Bada Bay Zampari for an easy 2. Runners lead is up to 8. They lead by as many as 11. Nebraska, though, making their way back. Emily Wood cutting the lead with a play and the foul. But a response from CSUB as the Roadrunners going to bring it into the front court. Find Brooke Hinkins cutting. She gets the floater, and the Runners then up to give back to the Huskers, who decide to, take a little bit of control. Runners were up 24-22 at the half, and then, it started to become the Huskers. Here's the steal, and then the lay-in right there. Huskers shot 48% in the second half as they worked the ball around to the near corner as well for the long two-pointer from Brandy Jeffrey. 48% in the half. Runners only shot 27%. You can see there that created an opening for the Cornhuskers, who moved the ball well in the second half, and they're going to swing it over to Rachel Terrio, as Terrio will find just enough space for Nebraska. She's going to hit the 3. They lead by 7. Runners not finished, though. Alyssa Shannon driving. Shannon cutting the lead to 5. She had a team-high 14. Then it's Shakita Smith again. The drive, the floater. It's a 5-point game, but Nebraska back on the attack. Down the lane from Emily Cady, and the foul. 7-point lead for Nebraska. Alyssa Shannon, though, going to, make it 5 once again. This drive and pull up after she gets the shooter's roll right there inside of 7 minutes to play. And a big dagger, though, for Nebraska. Top of the arc, wide open 3-pointer. This one's Tier Lundermill. That gives them a 5-point lead. It would be enough what they needed. They hold off CSUB 54-45. That was the final in the Nebraska game. And prior to that, in Omaha, as we saw, the Runners lost 80-68. So not the fruitful trip to Nebraska Bakersfield had hoped. And again, Tana Outland, the leading scorer, did not play in the second game of that trip at Nebraska. So the Roadrunners trying to find some offense without her. The Runners at UC Irvine tonight. Tana Outland will not play in this game either. Bakersfield did beat Irvine a couple weeks ago here in town. They will go to UC Irvine tonight. And then Sunday, 2 p.m., big one coming up for the Roadrunners as they face UNLV. And, of course, Nikki Blue, the assistant coach with CSUB, coached at UNLV. So kind of a rematch with her former team on Sunday, 2 o'clock at the Icardo Center, the Roadrunners against UNLV. And that will be a 2 o'clock start for CSUB women's basketball, who had a good thing going, had their winning streak snapped in Omaha, and then give a good run to number 12 Nebraska. But as you saw there, they came up just a little bit short. So Bakersfield now going to be on the road tonight, and then at home on Sunday. Again, men's basketball on the road up until New Year's Eve. They'll play at 2 in the afternoon against Laverne. All right, we are going to step away and take a break, because when we come back, we're going to speak with Mike McCarthy, a Roadrunner alum, and we'll chat with him about the upcoming Baseball Miracles fundraiser, and also he's going to be playing some pro ball in the next couple weeks in Australia. We'll chat with him about that as he gets some winter work in prior to the next season in the Red Sox organization. Stick around. We'll be back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great schools. And no matter what school you go to, there's still one thing we can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
Welcome everyone. Nissan of Bakersfield has everything for the perfect car buying experience. Like our beautiful showroom, full of the most popular Nissan models for you to explore. And our fully stocked parts and service department, from everything from genuine Nissan accessories to factory-trained service technicians to keep your car running its best. Plus, our massive inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles means you're guaranteed to find the right one for you. Nissan of Bakersfield is where you should buy your next car.
This is dignity. The smile given to a sick child. The steps taken to find a cure. Future leaders learning to make a difference. Humanitarians who give from the heart. And a love that comes from above. At Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, dignity is more than just a word. It's who we are.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Roadrunner men's basketball wraps up 2014 with one more game to ring in the new year. Wednesday, December 31st at the Accardo Center. It's New Year's Eve Roadrunner style as CSUB hosts Laverne with a special 2 p.m. tip-off. Tickets are available for half off at valleytix.com. Just enter the promo code RESOLUTION at checkout. You can also purchase a family 4-pack of general admission seats for just $20.15 at the Accardo Center box office. Roadrunner basketball versus Laverne, New Year's Eve at 2 p.m. at the Accardo Center. In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community, a tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. As we continue on the program, got a little breaking news coming up in the next segment of the show. So stick around. I know you're all waiting to hear about that. Giovana Melo will join us. There's a good shot it has something to do with her. I'm just going to throw that out there. So that's coming up a little bit later on the program. Also still to come, Ian Nickell will join us on the show. He's a 133-pound redshirt junior for CSU Wrestling. He placed at the Cliff Keen Invitational, getting ready for the Reno Tournament of Champions. We will chat with him coming up in the the final segment of the program. But first, coming up this Thursday, right? Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Thursday, Mike McCarthy joins us in studio, former Roadrunner pitcher, and of course now in the Boston Red Sox organization, and very active with a group called Baseball Miracles. And we had you on last year about this time, right? You were getting ready to do a little fundraiser, and here we are once again. Baseball Miracles coming up this Thursday at lengthwise pretty much all over town, correct? Tell the folks a little bit about what's going on.
So Baseball Miracles is a great group. What we do is we take old baseball equipment and instruction and give it to underprivileged kids throughout the world. We feel baseball is an opportunity to learn a lot. And so we're doing a fundraiser. You can bring down used equipment, come down and just support us by having dinner, getting some lunch. 10% of everything you spend will go toward Baseball Miracles all day at Lengthwise, so from 11 to 10. And we'll have a great time. Nice.
And this was the first one you did last year, and it was a pretty good start to a fundraiser for this organization.
Yeah, last year we raised $2,500, and it was a great opportunity that helped us take baseball equipment and give it to kids in South Africa. And these kids are absolutely beautiful. They have so much love and compassion in their heart. They care about the people around them, even though they're in a nation with 50 million people and 2.5 million orphans. These kids are in an environment where AIDS is prevalent everywhere they go. So for an opportunity for us to go there and to touch people's lives and see the beauty that baseball has and the skills that it can give people is such a wonderful thing. We had a great time.
Where have you been so far? You went to Ireland, right? Yeah. And then South Africa. Was those the only two stops so far? Those
are the two stops that I've been on so far.
Okay.
They've also been to the Dominican Republic. They went to South Dakota as well. We've done a couple of small camps in New York. We're working on a few other ones, Honduras, Israel, Malawi right now. And then we have some local ones domestically, one in Texas and another one in North Carolina region we might be doing.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're hoping to do one in Bakersfield. We'll see. I got to get some people on board and find a good facility. But if you know anybody, let me know. Anybody out there?
Absolutely. Now, you have you had the opportunities, you said, to go to South Africa. What's it like when you go to try to take a game that is as foreign as baseball to countries that have really – they've maybe seen it, but it would be like someone over here trying to teach me how to play cricket. Like, I would kind of know it, but no clue how to actually play it.
You know, they've kind of seen cricket a little bit from the English, the British influence. Australia and whatnot. In terms of baseball, they've seen it in some movies occasionally, if they've seen movies or maybe photographs or a magazine or something that came through their region. But for the most part, they didn't really have any idea. So the best part was that you had guys like Virgil Vasquez, who's a former big leaguer with us. He's with the Twins now as a coach. John Tomini is a Hall of Fame scout with the White Sox. Like myself, we'd go out and show them exactly how to do it. And the beauty is that these kids don't know what video games are. So they go out and all they do is play all day.
All day
they play
long.
soccer and baseball. One of them actually, somebody had brought a football for them. They had shipped it over from the States, and so they knew how to throw a football. I mean, this thing was ragtag. It's pretty beat up, but it was great. You know, the kids have so much love and effort and work ethic in their lives. That's all they've ever known. That's all they have.
And baseball's got to be a tough one, and that's why you guys need to get this equipment, because baseball requires more equipment. I mean, soccer is a soccer ball. Football is a football. Basketball is one ball. There's more equipment involved with baseball. There's bats, there's balls, there's gloves. So is that why, obviously, Baseball Miracles and what you're doing is so important, because you need all that stuff?
No question. Every kid that we've touched, every child that we've touched or come in contact with has gotten a brand new glove. For them, it might be a used glove from the States, but for them, they've never seen it before.
Yeah.
We make old equipment new again. They got their own baseball. They got their own hat. We left bats, catcher's gear, bases, everything they need to practice. And the beauty is that we've actually gotten emails and photos back of these kids a month later, still out there practicing playing. And the communities are coming together where they'll set up games.
Nice.
So they're just on an open field, like an open pitch, where they'll play soccer and they'll play football. They don't have dirt or anything like that. But the beauty is that they're able to go out and say, you know what, this is fun.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time. And they're learning those life skills of work ethic, teamwork, adversity. So
is there even though you mentioned that they maybe have seen a little bit of baseball or pictures and stuff, are there any players, like maybe, for example, like a Derek Jeter, that they've maybe still heard of, though, like just because of the celebrity aspect of baseball?
Question.
I mean, is there one of those two guys out there?
Yeah, and what's amazing is how no question, they know Derek Jeter, they know like Michael Jordan, they know big name stars from the United States for the most part across most sports. What's amazing is that some of the kids that are there have, as they've gone to school, actually internet access because of things like wireless internet and satellites. They actually do. Some of them have access to the internet at times.
Oh, nice.
So they've seen this stuff before, and they're able to go through. And they'll after I got done there, they ended up going and looking me up and seeing photos and seeing games and things like that. And they were amazed at how much goes into baseball because they've never seen anything like this.
Right.
The complexity of it and the detail. There's just not professional sports there in the way that you have in the United States. So for them, it was amazing to see that you're a professional athlete on this big scale and that people come out to watch you play.
Yeah, nice. Mike McCarthy joining us on Roadrunner Rundown. Now, we talk a lot about the international stuff. Now, domestically, what does Baseball Miracles do domestically, and what do you guys need domestically to make that stuff happen?
I think it's a two-piece. One, there's the camps and things that we want to run, and I'm all for. We've been running camps throughout the off season, and as you know, I'm getting ready to leave, unfortunately. But the opportunity to help influence children in Bakersfield and Kern County has really been a special feeling to touch their lives. The other side is that now we're teaching young kids philanthropy. At age 10, they're learning to say, you know what, I've got a brand new glove I just got for Christmas because my family financially is in a good place. I want to take this old glove and make it new again, and I want to give it to somebody else that maybe is in need. And the beauty is I've had kids come to lessons or just show up that have never met me, and they say, hey, I heard kids need equipment, I brought you my glove.
Cool.
And that's exactly what these kids are doing. And so they're learning in an incredibly, in their sport, in their place of interest, they're learning philanthropy.
Nice.
They're learning to give back and say, hey, you know what, this is important. Let me help somebody else out.
And it really doesn't. I mean, you guys just need equipment. Period. It can be old softball bats. It can be old softball gloves. It doesn't have to be baseball specific. You guys just need stuff that someone can catch with and hit a ball with.
There's no BB core in South Africa.
Yeah, if you have those old bats, bring those out, right?
That's right. We got drop 5s and drop 7s hanging around. So that was fun, swinging those air attack 3s and having a good time. It's old school bats.
Yeah, I mean, so if you got some of those hanging around from back in the day when those things were legal, hey, bring those out too. And now folks can go to any of the Lengthwise locations, right?
Any Lengthwise, and 10% of everything you spend will go toward it. So refill your growlers, come out for dinner, come out and get a gift card, whatever it is that you're doing. Thursday's the day to do it. And
so really essentially, you can help children and drink beer.
Essentially, yeah, that's.
I mean,
that's a fact.
It is a fact.
That is a fact.
I'm just not seeing a downside to that. And you can always, if the wife said where you at, you're like, I'm helping charity.
That's right. I'm helping kids learn baseball.
You didn't go straight home after work. You're helping charity.
I'll be at the marketplace from 6 to 10. So
okay.
if, some of the kids had asked about coming down and doing autographs stuff like that, I'd be happy to do that. Come on down if you're just looking to have a good time or chat baseball or anything you want. So.
Nice. Now, on the baseball front, you just wrapped up. What was it? Was that your 4th year in the organization?
That's correct.
Yeah, 4th year.
Third full season, yeah.
Third full season. I mean, you got a chance to go to AAA briefly and pitch up there. What does this next season kind of hold for you with the Red Sox? Even where we might start at?
Yeah, I think once you get to that AA, AAA, it's much harder to know where you're going to be at.
Yeah.
So really, I'll be most likely in Portland or Pawtucket, which are AA, AAA respectively, and that's where really you're on that launching pad. You're just waiting for an opportunity.
Right.
And really, I'm looking forward to it. I think that baseball is and the Red Sox, we're in a great place as an organization. A lot of free agent signs, and it's an opportunity to say, you know what. Put my best foot forward and keep competing the best I can. I'm going
to tell you the story. I was in Hawaii opening the basketball season. We opened the season against High Point, and I'm talking at the beginning before the game, just talking with their radio announcer, and they said, and the guy tells me, he says, "Do me a favor, say hi to Mike McCarthy for me." He said, and I'm like, all right, well, we're out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You're from North Carolina. How is Mike McCarthy coming up? And he apparently spends his summers working with Salem, right? Or what was their first team you were with, the single A affiliate?
Greenville.
Greenville, I'm sorry, Greenville, yeah. And he spent, he goes, yeah, I do, I do summer radio for Greenville.
Isn't that amazing how that works? Such a small world.
Yeah, but Beautiful. But more on top of that, though, it's more like, obviously, you made an impact because as a minor league baseball announcer, the guy probably sees hundreds of players a year. So he remembered your name and brought it up. So, yeah, it was kind of cool.
We don't realize the influence we have. I always talk about the ripple effect with the kids whenever we're doing lessons. I tell them, look, it's great that you're learning baseball, but baseball is really just indicative of life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of life skills are being learned, and the way that you touch people's lives, the way you impact them is really a valuable thing. So treat everyone the best you can every single day, no matter whether you're on the field or off the field. And it's amazing how those interactions really mean a lot to people. So
yeah, I appreciate sharing that. It's pretty random. Now, on the baseball front, this is kind of normally the time of year where you're in the bullpen, you're throwing sessions, you're getting ready for spring training in a few months. So this year you're going to take it to the next level, and you're going to actually competitively throw. Tell the folks a little bit about what your plans are here in the next 6 weeks or so.
So the day after Christmas, the 26th, I'll be one of those crazy flyers. They'll be traveling again like everybody else. Yeah. And I'll be actually flying to Australia.
Okay.
So I'll be competing with the Australian Professional League with the Perth Heat.
Nice.
For 6 weeks. And I'll be stuck down there and, on the beach and hanging out in Perth.
I'll say it's summertime.
Playing 4 days a week, and having 3 days off. And knowing what it's like, again, to be almost like a college schedule without school. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'll still be working on my master's. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And now you're gonna go to Australia. This is their big leagues down there, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's they've been competing already, and they're looking forward to me coming down. We're hopefully in line to make the playoffs right now. And
nice.
They told me don't forget to bring the buffalo sauce. I guess they don't have that down in Australia.
It's amazing.
Of all the things.
It is amazing. Like Australia, it's like that. Even when I was in Hawaii, there's a lot of Australians and New Zealand folks that come to Hawaii because it's the closest thing to the U.S. and they come to buy a bunch of stuff that they don't have in Australia and take it back with them on the plane. So there you go. So you're gonna have you're gonna have 2 bags checked. One will be clothes. One will be a suitcase full of buffalo sauce.
That's right. And when we're traveling to Hawaii, we're trying to take stuff with us instead of take it back.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
So you're gonna be pitching down there. Is there any worry that don't they say like south of the equator, like the water goes down the toilet the other way? Will your slider break the other way? Or
I'm a little worried. I mean, if it did break the other way, I'd turn into a lefty. That wouldn't be too bad. I'd love to come back.
I mean,
that
for
way.
a guy who's, especially you're split, well, you're worried maybe it's going to go the other way instead of going the way it normally does. I don't know. I was just thinking about science, thinking that might be the case.
All the signs are backwards, and I'm going to run to third,
Right.
Not even knowing.
Yeah, do they play?
They said, look, you got to run the opposite direction.
Mike McCarthy joining us on Roadrunner Rundown. Baseball Miracles Thursday, lengthwise at the marketplace where you're going to be at, but it's going to be all over all the lengthwise locations in town. And 10% you said of the
10%, and then all donations. So,
cool.
we really appreciate it.
Baseball bats, softball bats, baseball. Everybody's got at least like 2 gloves in their house, old ones and old bats and things that you normally hit rocks with. Just the kids will take them.
And the beauty too is that when you bring it down, I collect it. I have a storage unit that I put it into in my garage. And what I do is if there's kids in need in Bakersfield, it goes to them first.
Right.
And then if we have extra equipment left over and we're going to take a trip, then we take it with us. But it stays in Kern County. If somebody needs it, if anybody needs equipment, let me know, and I'll try to help make sure they get it.
Cool. No, that's great. And, I mean, it's amazing just how much the little things like a glove and that kind of stuff change a kid's perspective on the game and stuff like that.
It means the world to these kids. Like, they got a Craig Breslow glove that's worth $400, and that's worth like 3 months' rent down there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for them, they're thinking this is really a special opportunity for them that we really do take for granted.
Well, and you've got a lot of donations from obviously former runners that are also. I saw Jeremy Rodriguez give you a bunch of stuff with his stuff in the Padres organization because when you're in the pro level, equipment is nothing. Really for the most part, bats. A lot of the time they go through a lot of them, gloves, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we've had everybody from big leaguers and donate stuff to former Roadrunner alumni, people just in the community that have equipment from when their kid was 8 and they're in high school now. And then even other teams. I've written letters to different teams within the league that we're playing, and they'll actually donate their equipment right there. They'll set up a box, and I'll pick it up from them and ship it out. So we have another storage unit in New York, so we try to keep one on each end. And it's just been a special, special opportunity to be a part of. So.
Cool. Well, no, it's a great job as always with this. And again, Thursday at the lengthwise locations. Mike will be at the marketplace. You can go hang out as well. Have a beer, help charity. Have a beer and some macaroni and cheese.
It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation. Mike, good to see you again. Congrats again on all this stuff. Good luck down in Australia as well. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Take a lot of pictures. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, definitely will. I'll keep you updated.
And let me know if the ball breaks the other way.
You got it. We'll do.
Right.
Go
Sounds
Runners.
Good. We'll be back, folks. Coming up next, Giovana Melo joins us. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great schools. And no matter what school you go to, there's still one thing.
One thing! One thing!
We can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
I am not going to ask him about funguses.
Fungi.
Honey, have you called Gunlax about fixing that toilet upstairs?
I saw a plumbing episode on the Fix It channel. Yeah, I can fix it.
You could try it yourself, or you could just call Gunlax and save your marriage.
Hey, honey, I think I did it!
Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
We've never done marketing. It seems to be a little intimidating. You don't know what's available. You think you're going to sell your first child or it's going to be really expensive to do. But Heather really described everything in a way that we knew exactly what we were doing. There was no questions about it. She was very clear.
I really, really enjoyed that Heather took her time to get to know us as a family, get to know our business. From anyone that I do meet, I like to get to know them.
We knew exactly what we were getting into, but really the results of it was far more than we ever expected. I think it brought us to the forefront of most people's mind. So they heard our name, and then all of the videos and pictures, the Bakersfield Live, put a face to the name, and they were able to connect that and know what our product was, but also know us as a family.
Because of the Bakersfield Californian and because of Heather, generated so much buzz about our restaurant that we couldn't have done it alone.
Join CSUB Women's Basketball Sunday, December 21st at the Accardo Center as Bakersfield takes on the Rebels from UNLV. Bakersfield is one of the hottest teams in the nation right now, and you don't want to miss this great showing with a special 2 p.m. tip-off. Tickets for any seat are just $10 for adults and $5 for kids and can be purchased at valleytix.com or the Accardo Center box office. CSUB Women's Basketball versus UNLV, Sunday, December 21st at the Accardo Center. We're all runners. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
We are back on Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Mike McCarthy joining us in the last segment of the program. Again, Baseball Miracles fundraiser coming up this Thursday. All lengthwise locations in Bakersfield. 10% of your purchases will go to benefit Baseball Miracles, which helps kids from locally to internationally. So you can see him as well. He'll be out at the lengthwise of the Marketplace location near the CSUB campus, starting at from 6 to 10 that evening as well. So my thanks to him, and we'll have more details about Baseball Miracles, how you can help out as well, continuing on the program. But I want to welcome to the show now, as we've been sort of teasing it the last few minutes, but time to break a little bit of news. Giovana Melo joins us, our director of volleyball. Again, congratulations on a stellar season. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, the big news is Giovana has decided to give Giovana a contract extension because, well, she only won the WAC tournament and went to the NCAA tournament. So adding a year on to your original 4-year contract, so basically back to square one at 4 years. So congratulations. Obviously, that was well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Well, this was it was a great year. We've been talking about it. You came in last minute, really, for the most part, in this grand scheme of how coaches go, sort of last minute, not a lot of time to recruit. You brought in just 1 or 2, and then you pretty much just had to play with what you had, which was basically, 11 girls? And you found a way to win with this group. I mean, talk about really the transition that took place over the season as you got better and then obviously hit the peak at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, because there were many returners, they already understood each other a little bit and understood what they had to do to get to that point again of where they were, but in a completely different way. I think that's what it took the entire season for them to understand a new system, what I was doing, understand the new girls too coming in. I mean, not just Louisa, but Megan came in for 1 year, you know, and was able to get better and still play for us. And we didn't even expect that. And the kids just kept getting better and better throughout the season and started understanding a little bit more of what I wanted to do with the team and create a team atmosphere. That was very important. For me, I knew that we didn't have talent alone to win this. We needed to become a team, and I think that was we were able to do throughout the entire season and started playing really well at the end where, it mattered the most.
Yeah, and, the funny thing is I was telling the story the other day, but you put in a whole new system, which for a team that's been around for a while, some of those players had to kind of start from square one. So I was talking to someone the other day. I said, beginning of the season, you go into the gym in August, you got girls bumping into each other and falling down, and you're just going, oh, man, I don't know, this could be a rough year. But you had told folks, hey, we'll get it. We'll figure it out. And, I mean, they did. They picked it up fairly quickly, too.
They did. This is a very hard-working group, and that's what I got to give it to them. Day in, day out, yes, we didn't look good in a lot of times in practices, but they would come in every day, no matter how many kids were there, and would work extremely hard. And so that's really all the credit to them. When you have a group that it's not talented, but as talented as other groups, but come in and work hard, they become just as talented as some of those other kids. And that's what we did, and so I got to give them all that credit. They came in, and no matter what was happening, they were working hard every day. And
you had a system, too, that seemed to work with the size you had. You didn't have a lot of size, And I guess not just winning the WAC was sort of a reassuring of that system, but doing what you guys did in the NCAA tournament against Stanford, where, I mean, most people thought, if CSUB scores 5 points in a game, that's great. You lost 25-21, 25-21, and 25-19. I mean, so you were scoring points on Stanford regularly, and they had trouble controlling some of your scores.
Yeah, and that's all, credit to the system. But the players definitely playing in the system, but they just had to become a little bit more disciplined within the system because in the beginning we were kind of all over the place. And once they understood and became disciplined in that system, it all worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, and so because of the great year, as we pointed out, Giovana Melo getting a contract extension here at CSUB. So obviously you like this place too because you're going to stick around another several years. What was I mean, not only with the stuff on the court, but just your whole transition from Nebraska to Bakersfield. I mean, how's it been in the first? What's it been like 9 months now? So how did that go for you?
It went great. I think that I have a lot of support since I came in, and the family atmosphere is what I really like, and that's something that I was accustomed to at Western Nebraska, and here it didn't change much in that aspect. There are so many things that we're working towards to get better, but there is so much potential here, and I love the potential that there is, for the program and for the CSUB athletics.
It seemed like you had a great buzz too, not only obviously within your program, but the community volleyball really seemed. I mean, we had great crowds at the WAC tournament, and people really kind of, a lot of clubs, a lot of high schools, all kind of came out to support. So it seemed like you guys really brought the volleyball community together this year.
That's great. That was one of our goals when we first stepped in here. We knew they had been a little bit distant, and we needed to make some changes in that aspect, and we put our names out there, we put our faces out there, and obviously winning helps a little bit. So having the final, being in a final at home, I think was a big step, and we were able to get a lot of people, and hopefully that continues throughout all these years.
And now we got now the real fun begins, because you've got you're going to have some players you'll oversee, obviously in the spring, not in the sand aspect, but a lot of those players are going to be gone next year. It's time to put your official stamp on the program. So how busy do you expect things to be in the next months as you're recruiting for next year?
I don't really think I had much of a break yet. It just right after we're hitting hard and starting to get the kids in and recruiting. We're gonna have a lot of kids coming on a visit for sure, coming in February, March, once actually sand season starts, so they can kind of get to know that a little bit. That it's important for us to sell that part of the program too, but it's gonna start becoming pretty hard, and it's gonna be a busy time for me for sure.
You'll have a few pieces returning next year, but obviously there's some areas that you're gonna need to get. The good news is you have a lot of scholarships to offer, which is good. So you'll get a chance to definitely make a mark. So do you kind of have your priorities of what you're looking for, maybe first and foremost?
Yeah, we do. We're looking at a few international kids, again, that we think that can make a little bit of a difference coming in with experience. Some junior college kids and a lot of California kids, to come in and as freshmen and become that big talent at the end. We think we can do that.
Let me guess, the international kids are Brazilian? Yes. By the way, I absolutely, and I love the dynamic, and if you can get more kids like this, it'll be great, because the dynamic between you and Luisa Martins this year, you're yelling at her in Portuguese, which probably helps. No one knows what's going on, so you guys have your own language. But, you always talk about how competitive you were as a coach. Luisa on the floor was the same way, and it was so fun to watch her. Even when her celebrating her. I think one time she was arguing with the referee and got a yellow, and so she's arguing, and then she gets cautioned, and she just looks at him and goes, "Thank you," and then spins around and walks away. It was just like she seems to really be kind of an extension of your philosophy and your personality on the floor.
Yeah, and she was someone that, if you look in the beginning of the season, wasn't herself. I think it took her a little bit, and I kept saying that to her, to get comfortable, because she was coming in a new group, and a group that she had no idea how they were going to take her, and I think she did a great job just becoming herself and becoming a little bit more comfortable, and you could see at the end that she was playing her best, and with that much of a passion that I knew she had, it just had to take her a little bit to get there.
Yeah, I've been at other gyms and other arenas where there's a big influence from another country. I know, I think a good example, St. Mary's up in Moraga used to have a lot of Australian kids, and so they would hang the Australian flag. So we should probably get we should probably put the Brazilian flag for volleyball season
next on the list.
We should put it up there with there's plenty of influence, that's for sure, in the program, and like I said, I would love to see more of that. If you get a couple more of those kids, and so it would just be a bunch of fireballs on the floor.
Yes, that's what we're working for.
Non-stop energy. That would be great. So so everything's been good. Obviously, a good showing in the NCAA tournament. You knew you guys had a tough draw going against number 1 overall Stanford, but it seems like everyone walked away with that going, wow, this Bakersfield team really showed us something.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way we played and the turnout of even their fans coming up to me afterwards and sending emails saying, hey, we're a Bakersfield fan now. We didn't know you guys existed, but now we're a big Bakersfield fan. And that says a lot, to us and the kids, too. I think they were proud of, the way they came in and showed a little bit of who we were and what we were able to do against a big Stanford team.
Yeah. How much does that help you recruiting-wise? Because you were seen in the NCAA tournament. You won the WAC. Mm-hmm. So obviously recruits look at you differently now and say, hey, this is a championship program.
I hope so.
Yes, we hope so as well. That would be great. But it seems like, just having the year you guys had and to end it with the championship. And the funny thing is, everybody now here are the coaches saying after volleyball won the WAC championship, they're thinking, how do we get into hosting a championship at our place? More and more people are thinking there might be something to hosting that, putting in a bid to host the championship tournament because it gives us an advantage. Well done, and congratulations on the extension. We're glad you'll be sticking around for quite a while. So congrats, a great season, and I know you're kind of overseeing the sand program, and they'll get going. That's going to be a few months.
Yep.
So back outside, season number 3 for that program, and so congratulations on the extension, and we'll be in touch. We're closer to that good old sand volleyball season.
Thank you.
All right, Giovana Melo here on Roadrunner Rundown. When we come back, we're going to talk a little wrestling. Ian Nickell is going to join us on the program, 133-pounder. He's headed to the Reno Tournament of Champions. We'll speak with him next. We're back. It's Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great schools.
BHS, EC, CSU.
And no matter what school you go to, there's still one thing we can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
This is dignity. The smile given to a sick child. The steps taken to find a cure. Future leaders learning to make a difference. Humanitarians who give from the heart. And a love that comes from above. At Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, dignity is more than just a word. It's who we are.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Roadrunner men's basketball wraps up 2014 with one more game to ring in the new year. Wednesday, December 31st at the Accardo Center. It's New Year's Eve Roadrunner style as CSUB hosts Laverne with a special 2 p.m. tip-off. Tickets are available for half off at valleytix.com. Just enter the promo code RESOLUTION at checkout. You could also purchase a family 4-pack of general admission seats for just $20.15 at the Accardo Center box office. Roadrunner basketball versus Laverne, New Year's Eve at 2 p.m. at the Accardo Center. Join CSUB Women's Basketball Sunday, December 21st at the Accardo Center as Bakersfield takes on the Rebels from UNLV. Bakersfield is one of the hottest teams in the nation right now, and you don't want to miss this great showing with a special 2 p.m. tip-off. Tickets for any seat are just $10 for adults and $5 for kids and can be purchased at valleytix.com or the Accardo Center box office. CSUB Women's Basketball versus UNLV, Sunday, December 21st at the Accardo Center. We're all runners. In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community, a tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Giovana Melo joining us, our director of volleyball, and signing a contract extended to go with her 3 years remaining on her current contract. So she'll be in Bakersfield through at least the 2018 season, and well-deserved after a heck of a first season at the helm of the Roadrunners. Also, Mike McCarthy joining us, Baseball Miracles fundraiser this Thursday. Make your lunch and dinner plans to go to one of the lengthwise locations. 10% of your purchases will benefit Baseball Miracles. You can also donate equipment, used equipment, gloves and bats and all that good stuff to help out both locally and internationally. Switching gears once again, we're going to talk a little wrestling. Joined in the studio by redshirt junior Ian Nickell, who is a 133-pounder for CSUB. Good to see you, man. How you doing?
It's good to see you too, Corey. Doing pretty good. Just had a morning workout and got the juices flowing this morning. Got a good sweat, broke, so I feel really good.
There you go. Now you're coming off a good weekend 2 weekends ago. You actually had a weekend off rare last weekend, but at the Cliff Keen Invitational in Las Vegas, 8th place finish. So one of a couple guys to place there. Talk about that tournament. Obviously one of the toughest ones on your schedule.
That Las Vegas tournament, the Cliff Keen Invite, is always a tough one. And it's always kind of a fun one, kind of our first big tournament of the year to go to, and it's good to get a placing there. This year was especially tougher than years before when I'd gone, and went in seeded 12th, was able to out-wrestle my seed a little bit and take 8th. Lost some close matches to some guys that would have been really good to beat, but overall I think I performed well, and it's a good kind of it's good to know that I can wrestle with those top ranked guys, and so it's a good standard to kind of set early in the season, so I could build off of that.
Yeah, and what were some of your goals coming into the year? Because I know last year you had a pretty good run last year. What were some of the goals you tried to build off of last season's performance as you headed into this year?
Well, I always look at the long-term goal of that NCAA tournament at the end of the season there in March, and always the goal is to All-American there. You want to be top 8 in the country, and honestly, to become a national champion. If you're not wrestling and if you're not trying to become a national champion, what's the point, right? Yeah. But obviously, when you look at short-term goals, placing at Vegas is important, especially if you want to go to that national tournament, and especially if you want to qualify a spot for your conference. So that's a good short-term goal to have, and so that's a good thing to do. But always long-term All-American at the national tournament.
And you bring up an interesting point. I mean, wrestling's different in the way they set stuff up too. So your non-conference matches still matter. I mean, you might not be wrestling a Pac-12 school in wrestling's case, but you still need those wins. It helps you. It helps the conference. So it's kind of an interesting setup. There really is you can just say, oh, this is a non-conference, I'm not worried about it. You have to worry about every one of them.
Right. With how they do it in the RPI and qualifying spots for your conference, really any guy ranked in the top 20, that's going to be an important match. And winning those matches is really how you qualify that spot for the conference and how you we call it punch your ticket to nationals. So, a lot of times those guys aren't going to be in your conference. A lot of times you're going to get those matches at Vegas against some guys on the East Coast, Virginia Tech, Cornell, those big kind of wrestling schools. And those are the matches that are really going to help you punch your ticket to nationals. Yeah.
And so you guys have been busy month of late November into December. I mean, you guys were wrestling in Gilroy. You got to wrestle at Bakersfield High School. That was kind of cool for you. I mean, being a driller yourself, to go back home and wrestle a college match in your high school auditorium. That must have been really awesome.
Yeah, it's a little different experience. It's kind of funny. I walk into the BHS gym and the smells are all the same as when I was in high school. They roll that mat out. I remember exactly how that mat used to smell, and that's kind of a funny thing, going into that room and warming up. It brings back a lot of memories, and it was really fun wrestling there. And going into that, I was kind of hoping, oh man, this is a home dual meet. I wish we could just wrestle it at home, but it turned out to be really fun, and it was kind of a good way to spark our team, I think, too.
And I like the thinking about some of that too. I know you guys host your tournament at Sound Arena in Fresno, kind of going up there since there's no wrestling programs there right now. And then you did a meet on the road in Gilroy. It was kind of a home for one of the Illinois guys coming in, and so you guys kind of bounce around a little bit, which it's like a traveling road show. But I think the fans seem to really enjoy it.
Yeah. You're traveling a couple hours, and that's not too big of a deal, really. You go up the day before and no time change or anything like that. So it's still, an advantage for us when you got guys from the East Coast coming and they're wrestling over here. And yeah, the fans are, we have some great fans that they'll travel a couple hours. They don't mind going up a couple hours up north to Gilroy and watch us do a tough Illinois team and a good Appalachian State team. So that was fun, and we had a lot of fans in the crowd, and there were some guys that were there for Illinois, but overall, pretty much overwhelmingly, it was CSUB wrestling fans there.
Nice. And now the next tournament coming up is Reno this weekend, but you're gonna take that one off.
Yeah, just got to heal up. I got a lot of matches at that Cliff Keen Invitational, and most of those matches come down to I had one match going to overtime, and that match I ended up getting a reversal in the last, I think, 1 second. And so it's hard on your body, I guess, when you're wrestling that many matches. So kind of rest up a little bit and get ready, because Midlands is it's gonna be brutal. Yeah, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a battle, and I got to be ready for that.
Yeah, that's the Midlands Championships coming up on December the 29th in Evanston, Illinois, hosted by Northwestern. I know that's a big one, big star on your schedule every single year is Midlands. How important is that tournament in the national scheme of things? Where does it kind of stack up, as you said, like with the Las Vegas Cliff Keen tournament last weekend?
It's right there. If it's as tough, it might even be tougher. So going there, nothing's guaranteed. You could be seated fourth and get knocked off first round by a guy just because of the level of competition that's going to be there. So it's going to be a great opportunity, a really good chance to wrestle some of those tough guys that you get those wins, and that's going to help punch your ticket to nationals and put you on the map. And that's kind of the whole goal, wrestling being a team sport but also a very individual sport. And I have those individual goals where beating number 12, number 10, number 8 in the country it's going to help a lot.
Yeah, and you almost kind of treat like a tournament like Midlands sort of mentally like maybe a nationals trip. You've got to travel a long distance, not as long as nationals per se, but you're going back east for a tournament. You're playing. You're going to be wrestling against some of the best in the country. So is that almost like a mental prepare for nationals?
Absolutely. The intensity of nationals is, second to none. Yeah. But you definitely see quality opponents at Midlands, and you're definitely, especially deep in the tournament, you're going to see those guys that are at nationals, and you're going to get those matches that are going to be like at nationals where you might have to squeeze out a 1-2 point win, and it comes down to the wire. So definitely, Vegas, Midlands, even Reno will have some really good guys, and so all those tournaments are good indicators of where you are with your wrestling, where you need to go, where you need to take your skill set, and how far it also shows how far you can go.
Where do you think the team's at right now? You guys have had some couple dual wins here and there early in the season. Some guys wrestling well. Is the team sort of happy with the development that you're seeing so far? Obviously, a long ways to go, but some promising signs early on.
Yeah, I think we actually have some really promising signs, especially with some of our young guys. We have Matt Williams at 197 who's looking tough. Our heavyweight Alex Encarnacion, he's shown glimpses of really good wrestling. So that's always good when our upper weights are showing up. We also have some really good guys middleweights with Spencer and Coleman, and then obviously Adam's been wrestling tough, and even one of my partners, Timmy Box, he's been wrestling really well too. And so I think a lot of those guys haven't really reached their potential and shown what they really can do yet in the season, but they've shown glimpses of it. And Coach Mendoza's been saying since the Stanford duel, you go back and look at the Stanford duel, and that was our first, competition of the season, and we didn't really perform all too well, but we've since then, we've just been climbing and getting tougher, and I really think this last week we've been focusing on turning the corner.
Nice.
And we've been going after it hard the past couple of days, some of the hardest workouts I've ever done in my life. So I'm really excited to see how we do in Reno, how we do in Midlands, because I really think we are a team that's turning the corner, and we're ready for what's ahead right now.
Awesome. Well, Ian Nickell, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck in a couple weeks at Midlands, and runners are back in town on January the 10th against Brown at the Icardo Center. So we'll definitely see you then, and good luck in Illinois.
Thank you.
All right, Ian Nickell here on Roadrunner Rundown. Folks, we are out for today. We will be off next week, and then we'll have a special sort of year in review coming up on the following week after that here on Roadrunner Rundown. So we'll be back live in studio in a couple weeks as you enjoy your holidays. We definitely will as well. But of course, we'll have highlights and all that good stuff from around CSUB athletics. Go to the website anytimegolunners.com. We got information about some of the stories we talked about and student athletes we talked about today on the program. Don't forget to help out Mike McCarthy, Baseball Miracles. Thursday at Lengthwise, any one of the Lengthwises in Bakersfield, and 10% of your purchases will go to the Baseball Miracles. Also, you can donate used equipment, gloves, bats, all that good stuff. Help out both locally and internationally as well. And you can do that at any one of the Lengthwise locations. More information as well on our website. Upcoming games for both CSUB men's and women's basketball and CSUB wrestling, as we said, January 10th. Tickets available at valleytix.com. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Have a great holiday season. We'll see you in the new year. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.